but we're going to get started tonight. So I'm really excited to have Susan back with us. It's been kind of weird. We started this quarterly webinar this year. I love not inundating everyone on a monthly basis with webinars.
Yeah.
I miss you all.
I know, I miss this too.
Yeah,
I really do.
So we hope you enjoy the our short but sweet webinar on improving your financial health.
All right, sounds good.
All right, we're gonna.
So one of the things I want to talk about a little bit is this connection between financial health, your physical health, your mental health. And there's everyone talks about well-being. Like well-being is such a thing. And it's often thought that money solves all the problems and leads to happiness. Well, we know that's not entirely true, but we also know that if you're financially secure, it can create a sense of well-being that I think we all crave. Being able to afford essential expenses, having additional funds for vacations or outings or emergencies can really help you with confidence and just relieve some of the pressures if your tire blew out or if your refrigerator checked out. And we know that's a challenge for all of us. So living paycheck to paycheck, having unforeseen expenses to cover your health will be impacted. And we know that, right? We know we get stressed out. Financial stressors also have been found to directly correlate poor physical and mental well-being. Well, no joke, because if you're stressed about your money and it's just kind of wearing on you, where are you going to get the energy to go for a walk?
Right.
Or take care of your body,
Exactly.
or do the things. It gets really hard. And, there's then this weird thing about food. Sometimes I actually read this that some people are saying fast food is cheaper than making meals, but you're not going to get the benefits that you would from cooking at home. But again, it's an easy fix. It could be cheaper. And if you're stressed out because of your finances, that could be real. So managing your physical, mental wellness is important in just understanding, guys, that your financial health are really interconnected.
And it really is. And one thing that I point out to Susan, I was just recently learned is this is something that employers are starting to recognize more and more in the workplace, is that financial health is just as important as your physical and your mental health. And so if you are struggling financially, reach out to your employer to see if they have resources for you.
Yeah, I love that.
So just
Yeah, because how do you show up at work and giving it your all if you're afraid that your electric bill's not going to be paid?
Exactly.
And that's real.
It is.
All right, so we're going to talk a little. The next two slides are just more stats to kind of, share the correlation between money and health. So 60% of us are a little anxious. So you see how money and health are directly impacted, and the results can manifest in many ways. And here are a few stats that highlight how money can be a great source of stress. Experiencing financial anxiety can be debilitating and lead to decisions that do not benefit your health, like sometimes not going to the doctor. 66% of Americans 21 to 34 experience financial anxiety. Of course you are.
Yeah.
And those are the decisions that we're making, and we're trying to grow our career. We don't have all the resources, and you probably have children, and children are expensive. And then if you're two parties working full time, you're trying to juggle childcare costs on top of it. So compared to those 34 to 49, 60%. And as you get older, that stress level reduces. That makes sense too. Your careers have improved, you have more money. So I'm going to share something. I remember being a young mom, having two small children at that time, and totally living paycheck to paycheck, actually living less than paycheck to paycheck. There was always that gap, right? We were always having that gap.
Yep.
And I remember some wise older women that were probably my age, and their children had grown. And they basically told us young moms that it's really hard to have money left over in your checking account while you have little children. But there will be a day that eventually, when your kids grow and your salaries, everything improves, you're going to start living comfortably. And to me, it kind of made me feel not so judged and realize I was in a moment in time. But it wasn't going to be forever. It didn't take me off the hook to not make good decisions. I still tried to make good decisions most of the time, but it also made me realize this was just a moment that we were in.
Exactly. No, that was really great advice.
Oh, I love seeing so many of you join us. I think we're ready for the next slide too. I mean,
Okay.
honestly, Sheri, you're doing a phenomenal job.
I'm trying.
All right, so here are some more
Trying to
about
manage all
your
things.
financial health and why it's important. And financial health refers to the state of your finances, how much you're saving. All of this is, again, womp womp, a little doom and gloomish, but it does speak to the fact that this is why it's taking a toll on your health. So now let's talk about some other things that you guys may not be thinking about that I think really does make a difference in how you are managing your money. Next slide.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you. I'm trying
to see all
be
the things.
pithy.
You are
Trying to be pithy. So again, so what is financial health? Because everybody asks this all the time. It's the alleviating the stress and the worries, ensuring you have enough savings. Whoa,
Oh,
that just happened
that just happened
magically.
by itself.
That's crazy. Prepares you for retirement, avoids too much debt, and stabilizes your credit score. So, guys, this is what we're working towards. These are the things that we are looking to achieve when we talk about financial health.
And I think it's important to point out at this point in time, this all doesn't have to happen all at once.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah. So that alleviates a little of that stress and worry for you.
Yeah. This is a journey. Okay. So when you think about, overall well-being, which includes so many times we, in the decisions that we make based on marketing and advertising, succumb to these kind of spending habits. And here is where I think we can all relate to, right? So I always like to say is, who's my impulsive shoppers? My impulsive shoppers usually love that instant, unplanned purchase where the emotions take over rationality, and hence we end up with products we don't need. 40% of purchases are made on e-commerce are impulsive. Any of my Instagram shoppers out there, I mean, Instagram is the new infomercial. Once you spot something you like, it activates a battle between the emotional and practical sides of your brain. The practical side analyzes the use and the value, extracting the purpose, while your emotional side just craves the dopamine. I mean, I will tell you, anytime I go to the TJ Maxx,
Oh,
I walk out with stuff and I'm impulsive shopping.
yes. Yes. Same. Same.
So I'm not sure if that relates. Oh my God, how did that happen?
I don't know.
So basically, that's whoops.
We've got a computer ghost, I think, going on here.
Computer ghost. That's so funny. Okay, FOMO. FOMO, missing out on fear of missing out is a psychological phenomenon where a person experiences anxiety about missing out on important events. Currently dooming millennials and Gen Z, FOMO shopping is on the rise, especially due to social media. If you look at social media, and especially those dang ads on Instagram, it's like all the cool kids are doing X, Y, and Z.
And you're like, I want to do that.
Exactly. So again, realize that is what the brands are doing to help you spend money. A study by Credit Karma found that nearly 40% of millennials admit to overspending just to keep up with their friend circle. One of the best examples of FOMO shopping is going out every weekend just because your friends are doing the same. Going out for dinner, having a couple of cocktails can get really expensive.
Yes.
The only way to overcome FOMO shopping is to develop some discipline and prioritize your financial goals over your social life. And one of the things that Sheri talks about, which I love, is getting excited about saving money, because that's another way to get that same sort of hit of dopamine.
Yes, it really is, because it's the fear of missing out on the savings. For right now, I mean, especially we've got great rates on savings. So if you're wanting to get that dopamine hit,
Right.
think about getting into a high yield savings account.
I love that. And so that is a deal on savings. The next is a deal on shopping. And you know who you are. You're the ones who said, but it was on sale. You've said it. I've said it. We've all said it at least once to justify a purchase. Deal sale shopping is a type of shopping behavior where you make a purchase just because the product is on sale. And those retailers know. Yeah. They're like, buy one thing full price and get 50% off the other. So now you're starting to bundle your pricing to ensure you're getting that 50%. Black Friday sale is a perfect example of GL shopping where people over purchase just because it's on sale. Luring discounts mixed with FOMO marketing tricks, just 3 items left or sale ends at midnight, increases the surge of emotions and you end up overspending.
And having regret a lot of times the next day,
No
right?
joke.
Yeah, and, oh, well, I can't do it. You can't undo it.
Yes. So let's talk about the last one. Boredom shopping. Ever wondered why supermarkets have low cost items or often offer items near the cash counters? You know where you are. We're all susceptible to that one. Or why there are so many shopping stores near an airport gate? The answer is simple. People shop when they are bored.
Mhm.
That's real.
I'm
And the
That's me.
marketers are smart. They know that while you wait in a long queue at the supermarket, you will look around and find items like chewing gum, snacks of munchies, which are easy to buy but not on your list. Your brain, by the way, hates to be bored and always craves some stimulation. Will make that snack look tempting and encourage you to add it to your shopping cart. As a result, you'll end up exceeding your budget.
I know I'm an airport shopper.
Oh,
I
tell me about
heard,
that.
I hate
Yes, that's it.
but you know what? I find some great deals sometimes at the 75% off on things.
Okay,
So
so they got you in 2 ways.
yeah, they got yes, they got me in so many ways, right? I'm a sucker for a sale and a good deal.
But as long as you are spending money that you have discretionarily, then you're in a good spot. But if you're using a credit card to use some of these spending habits, that's when you're going to get sideways because in essence, that purchase is going to cost up to 25, maybe 30% more because that is the national average on credit cards is over 20%.
Yes, it is.
So there is no deal that really makes it worth paying an extra 20%. And that happens cumulatively.
Yeah.
So that's no good too. So here's a tip. If you like impulsive shopping or FOMO shopping or a deal, I mean, if you're on e-commerce, put it in your cart.
Oh, great idea.
And then if you're still really wanting it in the next day or the day before, then you know that is something that you're going to want to spend. But I know these things will hit you if you shop on Amazon, like we all do,
Yes.
and you start getting boxes and you're looking at your front porch going, what the heck is in that box? If you don't know what's in that box, you might have been bored.
Yes.
You might have saw a deal. You might have done some FOMO or you were impulsive in that shopping.
Yes. All the things.
Yeah.
I
So
have a few of those.
if any of you have a story that you want to pop in and share, unmute yourself and tell us if one of these 4 spending habits resonates with you. All right. Well,
We're
you know
moving
what?
on.
I'm telling you, our audience is generally very sophisticated in all their savviness when it
Yes,
comes to
they
spending.
are. All right, come on. Let's go.
It's the ghost, the computer ghost.
There we
There
go.
it is. So how to avoid overspending? There it is. Online, leave the items in your cart for at least 2 days. Or as you think about different funds, create a splurge fund. It's a savings account to pay for vacations, large purchases, or other fun things. I love me a splurge fund.
I love this idea. I think this is fabulous.
It's fun,
Yes,
right?
it is.
One of the things I love about banking with us is you can create savings accounts on your own in your app, however you want to, and it doesn't cost you any money to do it. And I'm really visual, so I just created a splurge fund.
I think that that's perfect. And that is one of the things I love about our app because we can create all those different savings funds. And so a splurge fund, how great is that?
know.
I'm going to be doing that.
Means
Adding that.
for me, that splurge fund is my Target fund, my TJ Maxx fund, and if I don't have money on it, I'm not going in the shop.
Good for you.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I love that.
Yeah, thank you.
Great tip.
So the next time I come back and talk about my Target, you're going to have to put me
I'm
in
going to
check.
ask you, did you
Well.
take that out of your splurge fund?
Can you please do that?
I'm going to hold you accountable.
Sheri and I do that for each other. I do think it helps to have an accountability, but I will tell you about FOMO. One of the things, especially when we were talking about Research Park, there's so many of those young adults. And I'm like, guys, go to Costco, grab some friends, Costco with friends, and you'll get some food because, they're always giving you munchies. So there's a meal right there. you can buy some things and then separate them out. So there's ways that you can leverage some of your spend.
I love that. Costco with friends. That's a new thing.
Is that a new thing?
Yeah, I think you've.
Are we gonna do that? Costco
Yes,
with friends.
Costco with friends. I love it because there's so many times like I love a good deal at Sam's or Costco,
Right.
but I don't want all this. I don't want all of this.
Yes,
No, it's
I
like
agree.
too much.
I
I
know.
don't have enough space.
Or I can't eat a case of like nectarines.
Right.
But if you and I went shopping, we can divide and we'd get a great deal on those nectarines.
Yes,
So I think we should go Costcoing with friends.
we are.
All
We're
right,
gonna
I love
start a
that.
new thing.
I love
Yes.
All right, so guys, I want to give you a word of caution. Speaking of boredom, as more states legalize gambling, online sports books have spent billions courting the next generation of bettors. And now, as mobile apps offer 24/7 access to placing wagers, addiction groups say that young people are seeking more help than ever before. So here is the deal. If you are a male and you're 18 to 27, 28-ish, they're targeting you and they think you're bored. And it's not just sports betting, it's any of the games like Fortnite or I play the crossword.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I've noticed about any of these games is you never win unless you pay
That's right. Yes.
the tokens. But it's those $1, $2, or the sports betting is really tricky right now because the sports betting is going into the billions of dollars. And it's
Scary.
really becoming a crisis. And because the brands know how to get you to separate from money, be aware, FanDuel, sports betting, any kind of that gambling. I mean, it's amazing that you can go to a restaurant and there's poker, there's all these gambling machines.
Always. And again, there's nothing wrong with it as long as you can do this within your budget, you're limiting how much. And that's another fund you can set up for yourself is that gambling fund. Go out, have a fun night with friends or whatever, or maybe, have some fun with FanDuel, but understand what you can handle.
I'm going to speak to that because that's really interesting because I didn't understand the gambling addiction. Just like any other addiction, if you're prone to that though, and you dip into FanDuel or some of the sports betting and you want that hit of dopamine,
Mhm.
there's a percentage that you're going to win, right? But it's skewed that you're never going to win 100% of the time. You'll probably win maybe 20, maybe 25% of the time. So you can be chasing a high. And in that chase, it rewires your brain to want more of it.
Interesting.
And that was kind of the research that I learned when I looked about the sports betting. And young males' brains are still developing. So they're more susceptible because they don't have the awareness to be able to step back. And that's why this has become such a real crisis right now.
Okay, young men, you heard Susan. Be aware
That's right.
of these ways to just suck the money out of you.
Well said.
And
Suck
that's
the
what
money
it's
right
gonna
out
do.
of you.
It's gonna suck the money out of you.
It is. So I just want you to be aware of sports betting. All right, what's next? Questions. Any questions?
Open up your mics because we can't see the chat. And we're happy to address any questions you might have on the topics we've covered so far.
All right, moving
Okay,
right
we
ahead.
are-
You guys are really good because
Yeah.
we've got about 5-ish minutes.
Yes, and we're gonna cover some things real quick, some tools for you.
So again, financial goals, short and long term.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got you.
I actually have a question. And this may be something that someone else is thinking, but are afraid to ask. Do you guys do like in-person consultations, like to help with people or anything? Does the credit union do that? Like if you know you have an impulse habit and you're trying to get your budget in order and you need someone to kind of help you with putting that budget back together to be able to stay on track.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And what I would encourage you to do at the end, you're going to see our emails and we're going to set you up because we have a pretty good tool. We have an excellent tool on our website. So if you're interested, when we share our contact information, send us an email and we're going to give you some resources and we can help you. And that's what credit unions do. So I'm glad that you asked that question. So thank you.
Great question. Thank you very much.
So Money Matters, we want to help you establish some short and long-term goals. And short-term goals could be for your splurge funds. Short-term goals could be, am I living within my means?
Mhm. Yes, yes. Well, and without those goals, it's really hard to set up your financial journey. So goals are really the basis
Mhm.
of that.
And understanding what's coming in, what's coming out. And that's what we're going to work with the person that just went ahead and asked that question. And that's knowing when to seek assistance. And so we can help you with that too.
Absolutely.
All right, so now let's talk a little bit about this is a modified version of Sheri's spending plan. So this is really geared towards young adults that have more expenses up until they're about 40 years old,
Yes.
knowing that there's probably going to be a little bit more student loan debt, and you're establishing yourself in your career.
And you have a family. So if you've got a family, you've got student loan debt, you're buying a house, all the things. And so we find that our needs are about 70% of our take home pay. And then that 20%, we're trying to put money in savings, we're trying to pay off some debts. And a little bit, we want to have a little bit of fun, but honestly, when our needs are so much, and we're trying to pay off debt, put a little money in savings towards our future, then it does take away from our wants. But know that it's not going to be like that forever.
That's right.
Do the best you can, and don't beat yourself up when you can't always do the things. And remember, don't judge yourself. You're doing the best you can.
Yeah, I think that's really great. Thank you.
And this is kind of what a budget looks like.
That's right.
After 40, 40-ish and after, this is, just looking at 50% of your take home pay is going to be about your needs, your basic expenses, rent, car, utilities, all the things. 30%, we want to see that going to all the things you want, including vacations, including eating out, but then sticking with that 20% for savings. Focusing on your future. So know that if you're contributing to your employer's 401k or you've got a 403b, that's included in that 20%.
I think that's really important to note, because oftentimes people are like, I have a 401k, so don't know that's part of your savings that you're saving for. But it is important to have that first $500 of emergency savings, $1,000.
$1,000 is
even
your
better.
next. Start baby steps, 500, 1,000,
Right.
Work to that 3 to 6 month and remember, an emergency fund is just your needs. We want to make sure you can have a roof over your head, food on the table, the lights are on, but that not worrying about, you may not necessarily be able to fit in wants into that, but knowing that that's what that is, that your emergency fund is.
You know what cracks me up every time I see this slide?
What's that?
Aunt Sally.
And yes.
Aunt, God love her. She's not a ton of money, but she's consistently giving them $10 a month.
Hey,
I respect an Aunt Sally like that.
So remember, when you're thinking about what your income is, anything, it's not just your core employment, freelance, investment, Aunt Sally, any other income you've got coming in.
That's something there's two ways you can look at budgeting. You can either live within your expenses, right? Live within your means, or realize I want to spend more than what I'm making. And so then you create a side hustle. And I remember there was a local anchor woman. She's now in Indianapolis. She did the, I forgot her first name. Anyways, I saw her. Here she was, this, a meteorologist. And I saw her at the Limited at Marketplace. And I was like, Jennifer Ketchmark.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Jennifer Ketchmark. And I was so like, oh my gosh, I see you on TV. And she said, yeah, I know, I love clothes. So this is a way that I can fund my clothing habit. So smart.
So smart.
Really smart.
Yeah.
And so that stayed with me because I think a side hustle is really important. And it's so much easier now to do side hustles in a way that ever before.
Oh, I absolutely agree. They're so much more beneficial.
Oh my gosh, we're almost done.
We are.
Let's go back to credit scores. Let's go into credit score. We're gonna fast track it. because we're about to be pulled out. So this is credit scores. This is why it matters. I think we all know that. Let's look at the credit score slide.
Look at the credit.
Yeah,
scores.
I do. Oh, this is why you should care. FICO. You want to talk a little bit about this?
Sure.
This is what makes up your credit score, guys. And I think this is really important. Take a picture of this.
And you remember, we're going to send this out. We're going to send this recording out to you as well. But this is really important for you to understand what makes up my score. And as a reminder, check your credit report on a regular basis as well. And we're going to give you that resource. But 35% is your payment history. That means paying your payments on time, even if you can only make the minimum, pay them on time, because that's the biggest piece of your credit score. Next, amounts owed, keeping your credit utilization below 30%. We like to say 10% because that's really helpful, but never over 30% because
it starts to hurt you.
Yeah, it'll increase your score. The length of your credit history is really important too. It's 15% of your score. And that means don't close credit cards when you pay them off. Keep them open. It's okay if you're not using them. Periodically, you might want to use them for a small purchase, pay it off when the bill comes in, just to keep it going. But that credit history is really important. It's 15% of your score. The types of credit you're using. So installment credit, that's a home, a car, a personal loan. It's a loan that has an end date. And then revolving credit, those are your credit cards, your lines of credit. And then anytime you apply for new credit, that's 10% of your score. So you want to be careful about how much credit you're applying for, especially at one time, because those things stay on your credit report for
and that takes
2 years.
So we're at 6:28.
We are 6.
So okay. I think we gave you a short, sweet, tight presentation. That's annualcreditreport.com. This is how you can freely check your credit report on all 3 bureaus. Let's go ahead and give them our contact information.
We're going to skip through this.
Yeah, UICCU is awesome. So here we are. This is our email. We've got a couple of minutes. We'll stay on until the power comes off. Yeah. So if you guys have any questions, now's your time to ask.
And I will just as a reminder, since you know what? I see a chat. I see something up there.
A chat.
Is there? Oh, thank you. Thanks, Angela. Appreciate that. We appreciate all of you joining us tonight. I'm going to take this away here. And again, reach out to us at partnership@uoficreditunion.org. That email will come to myself and Susan and our colleague and partner in crime, Liz. And so one of us will get back with you, but you'll get this recording. I'm also going to include the PowerPoint presentation because I'm not sure how much of the presentation got into the recording. So I want to make sure you have all of the information.
Benjamin, thank you for that. Thank you for whoever was brave enough to ask the question. I agree that you're not alone and we're here to help you, and short, sweet, and helpful. Love that. You guys enjoy your day. We'll be back with you in a few months and have a wonderful summer.